Absolutely. In fact, Colonel T.P. Tyagi also joining us live at this point, defense expert on the broadcast. Colonel Tyagi, a high-level meeting, of course, taking place currently in the national capital. Virtually, the chief ministers, DGPs, chief secretaries of border states have all joined. Also, the LG of 2 union territories have joined as well for this meeting. This is a very important meeting that has been convened by Home Minister Amit Shah. Colonel Tyagi, how crucial is this meeting of border rule state chief ministers and LGs?
First of all, I wish to give a little advice to this girl, Mehndi, who was speaking. It was difficult to comprehend what she was speaking, except knowing the name of Prime Minister Modi and Murmur and Chief Minister and names of states. Nevertheless, now I come to the point that in this meeting, what is most important, which is likely to be discussed, is what is the future action. Now, in front of Pakistan, there are two options. Either they absorb or they retaliate. It is likely that they may absorb because their defense minister has taken a about turn. The one who was saying that I will use the nuclear power and I will take appropriate action if Hindustan takes any action. He is now saying that if India does not retaliate, if India does not escalate, then we will also not escalate. But we should not accept this version of the defense minister. The thing is that every time we have left the situation in between. In 1971, if we would have continued 2-3 days more the war and ceasefire would not have been announced on the Western Front. At that time, I was one of the soldiers. I got Veer Chakra there. What we were saying कि कुछ दिन और तो चलने देते इस बलिदानी दौर को और लगे हाथ निपटा ही देते पिंडी और लाहौर को. We left them at that time. Now also, whatever their defense minister says in the meeting, I do not know what will happen. But what should happen is that we should take proper and appropriate action according to the promise which our beloved Prime Minister Modi said. He said that on the earth from this corner to that corner, the Atankis and their Akas, they ko matti mein mila denge. This is what he said. And who are the Akas? The Akas are not the Atanki camp. The Akas are their Masad Adur and what is his name? Sayyid. They are also not the Akas. The Akas are the ISI. The Akas are the Pakistan Army because ISI comes under Pakistan Army. If suppose the terrorists are killed or if suppose they are neutralized, our job is not over. Our job will be if we make a definite attack on their soldiers. Because a terrorist can be developed by giving him a little hope that you will get 72 hoods in the Jannah. But to develop a soldier, it requires time, it requires effort, it requires money. And we have not taken any action against the soldiers as yet. Hence, I do not consider that the work is over. It can be said कि ये सिर्फ बूंदाबांदी more is required. ये दिल मांगे more. This is what the requirement of the people, the sacrifices which army has given after Kargil. It is surprising. In Kargil, it was a very difficult war, but only about 500 soldiers and officers, they give their sacrifice and the war was won. But after Kargil, no war has taken place. And how many? More than 50,000 soldiers have laid down their lives. Why? This is all because of terrorism. And the terrorism should be neutralized once for all. Hence, this is a good step, but it requires continued effort. It requires continued attack. We must be ready for taking another action. Another action, and that an action should be full and final. That is what I want to say.
Well, we're getting more breaking developments, in fact, now coming in on the broadcast. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah has held an emergency meeting with officials over the current situation in border areas. These are big updates coming in. Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir also now chairing a high-level meeting as we speak. So, series of meetings, of course, transpiring now in the fallout of Operation Sindoor. Let me go straight across to Ajay Jandial for more details on this story. Who's joining us live from Akhnur sector in J&K. high-level meeting being chaired by the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Omar Abdullah. Ajay, what is on the agenda for this meeting? What is transpiring currently? What are your sources telling you?
See, what is basically happening on the ground is that there are apprehensions that Pakistan could launch a major attack on the civilians in this area of line of control. And that's why, this decision has been taken that Home Minister is also going to speak to Chief Ministers of the Jammu and Kashmir, Chief Secretaries of the, the states and Union Territories, and Chief Ministers of the states as well. So this is happening that, other than that, Chief Minister is also going to, address he's also going to a virtual meeting with the district heads, and especially the heads of the district, which basically are on the target of Pakistan, because on the border district there are apprehension that like Poonch, Kupara, Baramulla and the Bandipora, Pakistan could also launch a attack in the Samba, Kathua, Rajouri and these locations. So that's why this meeting is going on with the district heads and chief secretaries and district SSP to ensure the evacuation plan, because where right now I'm standing, even you could see that people, those who are here, they basically have started moving from the border areas. You can see that how people are walking and going to the safer location. So this is what exactly happening after Pakistan targeted number of people in the Poonch. 14 people have died in Baramulla and Poonch, and still there are apprehension that more attacks could take place. So that's why precautionary measures have been taken by the authorities over here, and they have started evacuating people from the border districts and LOC areas to the safer locations so that they will not get hit.
Absolutely. You are currently, of course, reporting from the Aknoor sector. Ajay, this, of course, is one of the key sectors along the LOC. What is the situation there on ground today? Of course, in the fallout of Operation Sindoor, obviously border areas are on high alert. Border area CMs, DGPs are all in a meeting, in a huddle as we speak right now with the Home Minister of India, Amit Shah, as well, Ajay. All the border areas, of course, presumably on a high alert, not just in J&K, but in Punjab, in Rajasthan too. What's the scenario and situation at Aknoor where you are?
Yes, you rightly said, because in border states there are apprehensions that after this major attack on the terror launch pads in Pakistan, Pakistan could also try to disturb peace like what they have done in the Poonch, Rajouri, Baramulla, Kupara. So that's why this meeting, important meeting, is going on, and especially when civilians were targeted by Pakistan, that shows that inhuman act can be repeated in the districts, border districts as well. So that's why this important meeting with states of state heads like chief ministers and LGs, that is going on with Home Minister, where Home Minister is going to definitely take the stock of situation and how we are prepared to deal with any kind of situation and eventuality. So that's why we have seen that only a few minutes back this order was issued, or we can say that people were conveyed that they have to vacate their areas, they have to move to the safer locations, and evacuation was started. So that is what exactly is happening on the ground, and Pakistan, now everyone knows that Pakistan could go to any limit, they can go to any brutal act, and that's why these important steps have been taken by the authorities on the ground.
Absolutely. Stay with us. In fact, Pathikrit Pain, geopolitical expert, also joining us live at this point on the broadcast. Pathikrit, it is a evolving situation. Of course, we're keeping a close watch on Pakistan's next moves. Meanwhile, the border areas, of course, remain on a state of high alert. India has struck. Precision strikes, of course, have been carried out on terror infrastructure. The victims' families have spoken with us earlier. They are, of course, saying that this is provided balm for their wounds, Pathikrit.
Well, absolutely, Uday. We must congratulate the armed forces, the political leadership, and